Um, this is Margaret Ann Windsor, Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. I've put about my kidnapping and my real name and being placed in Moulton, Alabama in 41 and given the name of a deceased twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey, and I married a Childers. That's the name I've had to maintain and use. It's not my name. My name is Victoria II. My father is the real King Edward VIII. My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. Um, I wanted to go back real quick on this, kind of like a little diary that I keep. Uh, I've spoken of the patterns that were used in the mind control murders, and I wanted to add something here. So much a part of my writing the book in 77, 78, I was living at Moonraker Apartments, um, and the title of the book was MD, A License to Kill. Well, a year or so later, Moonraker, the movie, came out with Roger Moore, 007, and then Timothy Dalton's movie, A License to Kill. So the Brits have backed me up as much as they could. Now, the book didn't get published simply because they filled me full of antifreeze, April Fool Day of 80, and I ended up without a home and across the state line, and a fiasco that went on. I should have died working for the D.A. Simpson, as in my father was supposed to have married Wallace Simpson and abdicated, a double married Simpson. But the names are being used, and I lived at Warren House Apartments. Warren House was a clue to, I later find out, when I find out my real name, Joseph Kennedy, who was ambassador to England in 36 and helped take out my father, 36 to 46, and helped kidnap me and plan my kidnapping. Now then, that's a timeline, and all this goes into it, and the later murders that were happening, and actually who is responsible for those? Well, the American public are, and the media and all that. I've certainly gone to them and begged them and shown them, and they know it. But here, when I first came to Roanoke in October of 86, I was just shut down. I had been, like, being thrown out on the road and street and everything, even after I had been in a campaign to replace one of the doctors who was a U.S. Congressman, Larry McDonald. I was flown to Flint's. McDonald's plane went down, was shot down in August 31st of 83, and I became a candidate. Now, isn't that weird that all these messes happen? I've told about it. I wrote about Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, in Mind Control, and the murders of Warren and Rosina Matthews, and they were the forensic pathologist at his hospital there, Piedmont. And quite frankly, they knew how deaths were made to appear of natural cause. And I was writing about mind control and my attorney and murders. Well, other things led to my knowledge about Warren and Rosina Matthews, the reason they were killed, really. So mind control can program people, make you do anything. It's a lie when they say that it won't make you do anything that you don't want to. That's a total myth. But they can cause you to take a plane down if you're the pilot. They can cause you to drive your car off in the river and drown or kill yourself or kill somebody else using whatever your programs do, or mass hypnosis like in the Westgate, Kenya. And made the Israelis went in there and instead of, that was the British colony, let me remind you, those who don't care who've forgotten. And so was Rhodesia. Now all of it belongs to the United States, really. They control it. Now then, if I haven't lost you, I wanted to go back to Warren and Rosina Matthews. I was just Googling to make sure the date that they were murdered, because some other things took place about that time. They were murdered in Cobb County, Marietta, near where I lived. Now then, the thing about it was, it went down, and this is what history would leave it, that it was a robbery gone wrong or a drug or something. And I remember the Billy Jack, one of the men that was supposed to kill the Matthews was Billy Jack. And let me say this without trying to get too detailed. When I went to Larry Flint's in '83, I met Tom Laughlin, who played Billy Jack in the movie. So without trying to tie in all of it, it's too much. You can't in a video or even a couple of volumes to show the patterns in the timeline. Anyway, Billy Jack was going back to Warren and Rosina Matthews were murdered May the 7th of '71. Okay, one of the, and I remember this very well. I'd forgotten her name until I Googled it. Her name was Deborah Ann Kidd, Kidd, and she was hypnotized. And she testified against the seven, and she was supposed to have been with them when the murders of Warren and Rosina happened. Oh, now then, these were all found guilty, and the district attorney was Buddy Darden. And by the way, in '83, when I ran in that campaign to replace Dr. Larry McDonald, Congressman, and I was flown out to Larry Flint's, Buddy Darden ran against me, and I like Buddy Darden, and he won, but he only fulfilled the time left for Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, and he didn't run again, I don't think. So that was just a few months that he filled in as Congressman. Point being, he was the one that originally tried this case. Now then, in '78, when I'm living at Moonraker and doing the book, medical malpractice book, and Larry Flint had been shot May the 8th of '78. But Tom Sharon, I had been going to him. He was the DA now in Cobb County. I had been going to him because of the hell that was being done to me and my sons. Just terrorism all over the place to us. I was doing the book, and I thought that was why it was all happening. Later, when I found out about being kidnapped and my real name, well, I know what the reason for all the hell done to us is about. But anyway, her name is important here because it fits into the patterns. And by the way, Tom Sharon was going to retry it, but I don't see where they retried it because she was supposed to be hypnotized. When I first, now I'm going to skip through the years and come October the 20th, I think it was, of '86, I stepped off of the bus here, Greyhound or Trailway, at 3 o'clock in the morning, cold, no food, no money, exhausted from being put out on the side of the road and shut down, no job, nobody would do anything to help. But the first job I had a few weeks after I got here, and I kept it for about a year and a half, in which time I went to the Embassy of England July the 25th of '87 when the Oliver North trial was going on, or being heard up there, because it's ready documents and all this. And suddenly on July the 25th, about the time I was up there, it was suddenly shut down, the hearings were. Okay, now then, I'm going back to '86, and June of '87, I go up to the embassy, and it's this timeline that I work for Kidd here in Roanoke, and I did a live-in companion aid, and it's using the Kidd name. It's not just a coincidence that happened. And I've been telling about the Watergate tapes and Victor Gonzalez. And the tapes were actually when they were going to lobotomize me. That happened, I believe, on June, when was that, of '72, June the 20th, the tapes. And that's when, about a week later, I guess, well, okay, I saw something that Gonzalez and someone were doing, and a week later I get drugged and I'm hauled across to College Park to a clinic there by the railroad tracks there, and I'm laid on a bed, drugged. I knew everything they were doing, but I said this in previous tapes, and it was role played. The Watergate tapes when I worked for the VA, Fred Simpson in '80. But so they were going to lobotomize me if the phone was behind my head in that clinic, and there were doctors and nurses who knew what was going on, and they would not help. But anyway, the phone call was Henry Kissinger. If my people, family, or country didn't meet certain demands, I'd be lobotomized. So this is the timeline that I'm getting into, and I had uploaded some stuff about this, previous tapes, and again last night is the point I want to make again too. After that, because the Watergate tapes is when they had me going to lobotomize me. Now then, on April the 1st of '80, after I'd done the book, and had a letter from the U.S. Attorney and the FBI, been in their office in '79 and all this, I had been given antifreeze in the nape of my neck and made to drink it, some. And it should have killed me. It became a fiasco. I should have gone into a coma and died, and it was something you can't even believe was allowed to happen. I ended up across the state line with brain damage and worked illegally. I was taken across the state line. I worked for the District Attorney Simpson and role played the Watergate tapes and all this. And I did remember then being taken to by Gonzales, drugged and taken to College Park and going to lobotomize me. And that was Henry Kissinger on the tapes that were 18-minute gap and all that. Now then, last night I had uploaded this again about that, and I'm watching Criminal Minds, which is a takeoff on the FBI profilers out of Quantico. And oddly enough, they were doing a program on a serial killer who was lobotomizing people. Everybody, I put a little clip of that on because it happened right after last night, after I'd uploaded this about what they were going to do to me, Kissinger and lobotomy and all that. But everybody should watch that and then wonder. My life is, if somebody gets tired of me and they call it complaining, my life has been one moment after the other of terrorizing me and my children, my country. My mom and dad are dead and gone. I had 2 years with a beautiful father and mother, King Edward VIII and Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, who her crime was marrying my father, a decent man, a king, and she was Catholic, Irish American. She would have become the Church of England with my father, but part of the Windsor family didn't like it. So this whole thing with the Americans was concocted, the New World Order people, they call them Freemason or what, and I'm going to quit because this will be too long and I can't upload it. My own uncle, I've said that, helped kidnap me, and the Kennedys, and Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and the Roosevelts. So anyway, and the New World Order is in place now. So where does it go from here? Not one person's paid for the crimes, or even the media been made to tell all of this. And I mean, it's appalling to me, and I'm here taking the only course I can, and that's to put it on YouTube. I can't get an attorney. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say.